So, I think that's a good time to make our segue into the episode itself, honestly. What do you think?
Fair enough.
And
It
that
once again, it once again continues the life of the legend, the goat, Kozuki Oden,
the Chad.
the inheritor of the will of Chad.
It's episode 965, Crossing Swords, Roger and Whitebeard.
Which realistically doesn't even happen till like the very end of the fucking episode.
Right? It's like the ultimate clickbait. It's just like, Roger and Whitebeard! For 2 seconds. Well,
At the
2 minutes.
end, two
2 minutes.
minutes.
2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Some of the hardest 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I will give them that.
Oh, I
That
was
shit went fucking hard, and I was here for it.
I was definitely hard, all right.
I was too.
Oh man, but
But you know, like I said, that was the last 2 minutes of the episode before they went to next time on Dragon Balls. I mean One Piece. um, the rest of the episode just continued a bit on what was going on in Odin's life, more specifically what was going on in Wano while Odin was away, because his journey has gone from 1 year at sea to 4. In this time, he sired 2 children.
he was getting. It really does say something. It's just like, you know, this might be why Whitebeard typically doesn't have many women on his ship. Have too many babies.
Someone somewhere is going to clap somebody's cheeks, and then we're going to have babies on this ship, and then we're going to have to deal with that, and I don't really want to deal with that.
I mean, technically, he would have had to deal with that around the time of when he was on the rock ship with like Big Mom and stuff, because Katakuri and Daifuku and Oven, no, it would have been
Even Perospero.
yeah, Perospero. They would have been born around. They would have been born around this time, by this time. So it's just like, okay, there might be a bigger reason for that.
Hmm. Hmm. You might have a point.
Ooh, also a timeline of events. So during this flashback, it's been about 12 years since the Battle of, what was it, God Valley?
Yes. And it's
Yes.
about 1 year before Roger's execution.
It's been 2 years since Roger found out he was ill. And it was, I think, around that time, he also got Crocus.
Yep, Crocus was there. He was
Yeah.
in the new episode.
So when we saw him in the previous episode, that was a little bit before that or during that, I think. Because it's been about a couple of years since it took Roger 2 years to come across them after reading that in the newspaper. So apparently he was just getting hyped off of tales of Odin. It was just like, I really want to meet the samurai guy and beat the shit out of him.
That's how people seem to roll on One Piece. Let's not forget that Odin himself ran up to Whitebeard as soon as he got on his island and said, "What up? Let me run with you. Let me get these hands real quick first." That's it. That's how they became friends. Let me roll with you. Get these hands first.
I mean, that seems to be the way of like the really strong because let's be real, that's not how every meeting goes. But it seems like whenever someone wants to just prove something to someone else, it's just like, yo, come at me, man. Come at me, bro. Let me show you this smoke. Let me show you this smoke, bitch.
And yeah, we get to see the smoke. And I think even Odin was taken by surprise by Roger and Whitebeard. And next week we get an extension on that fucking fight. Ooh, that shit's gonna be fucking lit. Oh, it's gonna be so fucking dope.
Oh, yes. It's going to be absolutely heavenly. And it really does bring to the table. I don't think we've had any filler, like, in the longest time. Like, they sprinkle a little bit of filler in the episode. Like, hell, even here when Orochi was getting the devil fruit from Higurashi. I only remember that name because of the anime Higurashi. She transforms her face because she's got the clone fruit, and one of the faces wasn't actually in the manga. It was the face of a young Shiki,
Yeah.
but that wasn't in the manga. So, man, when would she have brought Shiki?
It's a mystery.
Considering she's dead, it's going to probably remain a mystery.
Precisely.
Mm.
Hey, it's like you said. It
Feels like a bit of bullshit because, like you think that, unlike
there's better be more to it than that shit was fucking. And you're telling me that a guy who should definitely be immune to decapitation at least 7 times is suddenly dead after being beheaded once? Really? You sure now?
Nah.
If that was really, truly, definitely the case, I'm calling bullshit.
Nah, there's definitely more to it than that. Too much conniving and underhanded tactics. It's just like, nah, he needs that good old fashioned ass whooping. Somebody's gotta come in and beat those sheiks. All 8 of them. No, it's not how this goes.
I mean, it would just suck to have Kaido take that satisfaction away from us. Realistically. Like, we know Kaido's the big threat. Leave him for Luffy, but God, let the fucking vassals have their moment by just beating Orochi. And you know what? We can even make it more satisfying. They're beat to shit, and they still clap them cheeks hard. At which point, I will accept that. I will absolutely accept that as their final pick. Because, man, Orochi's the one who did them all the most dirty.
That
He's
would
the one
be great.
Yakuzaya should be
Oh
fucking
man,
defeating.
that would be so shit. It's
Destroying.
just like bloody, beaten, and bruised.
Killing. Unaliving. Doing terrible things too. Yes.
The one thing I do have to say.
Jump.
One thing I do have to say is, like, after we saw everything with the clash between, Odin and Roger, who do you feel is the more like Luffy? Is it Odin or is it Roger? Because it's getting kind of hard to tell.
That's actually the hard part. I mean, like, it's really hard to tell. We're about to spend a lot more time with Roger. And that's going to be like the defining moment for me where I really decide. Because, when I read the flashback, covering Odin's life, I wasn't getting the same kind of Luffy energy from him. But now that I'm seeing it animated, it's impossible to ignore. So now, like you said, it's getting really hard to tell who's got the most Luffy energy because they both radiate that same energy. I love how he had to just like stop both Rayleigh and Gabon, just be like, hey, I got this. Don't worry about me. It's just like, yeah, bullshit. You got this. Don't worry about me. You just want this for yourself. It's like, yeah, kind of do. Like, he ain't even denied. He's just like, you got me. Stop me, though.
That smile he has when he goes running past them, too. Like, it was in the manga as well, but you really just get that emanation of like, oh, he's just a big old goofball. He's just trying to have a little fun.
When both him and Whitebeard finally clash blades, holy shit. The grins on their faces, it's just like, bro, they ain't even trying to kill each other. It's just like another instance of like Dory versus Broggy. It's just like, I'm so happy to see you. Wow! Put these hands real quick.
Also, dude, I love the anime because they've been doing this for the longest time. Ever since I'd say the biggest highlight was back during like Film Z. But whenever like Color of Observation or Conqueror's Hockey pops up, red eyes, boom, your eyes are red, and they do the most amazing effects, especially in specials and movies. I love to see it.
That glint shit when like when they start really using their hockey.
And
I actually get a bit of chills from it now. Because like that's when you know shit's about to really go down.
Like, cause when they clash here in this episode, and like, cause you see it right as like Whitebeard is just bounding from tree to tree, just like freaking boom, boom, this giant ass man just jumping from tree to tree, and Roger sees him, just like, ooh, it's Whitebeard, awesome, and then his eyes glow red, he just brings hockey into his sword, and he just lights up, and it's just like, yo, that's so hype.
Yeah. Oh my god, and then the impact when Whitebeard fucking comes down. Ooh! Oh, you feel that shit too. You feel it. You feel an unstoppable force hitting an immovable object right in that moment. Right in that moment. They still don't actually even touch.
Mm.
It's the craziest part. You feel this impact even though they've not actually made contact. That is the hypest of hype shit I can think of. I can't wait to watch them split the sky next week. Because you know they're going to split the fucking sky.
And it's shit like this, like even with the way that it's animated, because we've seen Luffy clash with other hockey users before. Fuck, we saw it in this arc when he clashed with Ulti. You see the sparks, you see the intimidation, you see the energy crackle off them, but man, the way that Whitebeard and Roger went at it, it's just like, oh, that's the next level right there. Like, damn.
I guarantee Luffy's gonna be there real soon. Like he's gonna, but by the time he gets to Shanks, he's gonna learn how to do that shit. Shanks is gonna be like, "All right, Junior, let me show you what's up."
And like seriously, I can't wait because it's just, like, cause the anime really does go out of its way to really kind of hype things up, put on like a real spectacle. And you know, even in the realm of Wano, like when you see how Kaido just hands Luffy his ass, it's just like, yeah, you could see Kaido going toe to toe with Roger or Whitebeard at this point in his life and them being like on an even keel, and it's just like, yep, Luffy's not there yet. But like with Zoro when he was going up against Killer or Kamizo or whatever you want to call him. Like, that animation, you could tell Zoro was kind of like a little bit closer to being on that shit.
Close. Real close. That's why I think they're most afraid of Zoro right now on top of Onigashima, just because they know Zoro can do some more damage to Kaido than any of the rest of them can. And, literally nobody, except maybe Law, is trying to do something about Big Mom.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And like you said, the preview for the next episode just, man, they put so much effort into it. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be absolutely gorgeous.
just expect more hype next week. Let's put it that way.
And the thing that gets me too is just like the quality of these episodes have just been so phenomenal. It's just like even at their worst, they're still so much better than a lot of the episodes from hell. You're watching it yourself, the Dressrosa arc. Like, oh my god! Even the worst animation from Wano blows a lot of the animation from Dressrosa out of the park.
It really does. Like, my fucking god, their budget went up significantly between Dressrosa and Whole Cake Island, and they brought it for Wano. They brought it for Wano.
And like, if
Because I'm not gonna lie, Dressrosa is a little hard to look at it in some instances.
oh yes, Dressrosa more than I did, but the stilted movement and motion. I mean, even Whole Cake, it had its ups, it had its downs, but it was obvious that they needed to turn the animation around for the anime because you couldn't keep just bringing out what they were putting out. It just really was not good.
Yeah, I think at the time they were not really doing so hot financially. It's just like, bro, the ratings are not they're not where we want them to be, and a lot of your animators are just kind of phoning it in. So you know, get on that. And Oda said, "Oh, is that right? All right, bet."
Yeah, well, they need to pay the animators better to begin with, honestly. So, if nothing else, there's that.
True. It's very true.